Hey guys, today we're going to talk about on the one-on-one student show is about addiction. Mm, Addiction, like general meaning of addiction and what I think it means and it should mean. I had personal experience with an ex-girlfriend telling friends and coworkers and telling me I have a sex addiction, supposedly. Even though me and my girlfriend at the time, she was only doing this at the time we were in a relationship, and supposedly I was a sex addict, even though we never had sex in a relationship, sadly. So I was a sex addict. In my opinion, sex addiction is not sex addiction until the addiction is or the act of the so-called addiction, like Fritz's sex addiction, until you're having too much sex, it's interfering with your health in any way, physical or mental, and it's affecting other people's life and affecting your hygiene or whatever, affecting your work or school, if you're attending school in any way, yeah, negatively. That's addiction. That's sex addiction. It's the same thing with any other addiction. Mm, Most addictions uh, will cause harm to your life, and some will cause even more harm. Some don't cause that much harm, but specifically, I really hated my ex girlfriend telling me that I had a sex addiction when I knew I did not, because I was doing fine, health wise, both mentally and physically. And, you know, obviously she was delusional or just ignorant on the fact of what sex addiction was and is. I did have addiction that affected me very badly when I was younger, which was, playing video games. It's very possible um, to get addicted to video games because I played so much video games when I was younger that I basically dropped out of school. That's how bad it was. I had no interest in school at all. Just my interest was beating every possible game that I had interest in beating. Basically, as much as many games as possible. That was my goal. Even though that was a hard goal because games are very expensive. So I rented from Blockbuster every week, and I beat one game a week. Um, I could not care less about school at the time, so that caused me to drop out of school, high school more specifically. So, an addiction. This is my opinion about addiction. Addiction is not an addiction until it interferes your mental health or and physical health and or your work and or your school in a negative way. That's it. If it's not affecting you negatively in all those standards I just mentioned, it's not an addiction at all. Of course, it's just my opinion. I'm not professional. It just it makes sense logically and with common sense. So anyone tells you that you're addicted to anything, especially as a one-on-one student, a lot of people will tell you you have a sex addiction. Tell them you don't actually, because you're doing fine in work and you're doing fine in school. If you're going to school, your mental health is fine, your physical health is fine. Basically, that's what it is logically. All right, so that's it for this week on the one-on-one student show. Next week, if you guys have any questions or stories you want to share with me, comment, email, private message, whatever. All right, email me at the one-on-one student at gmail.com. Okay, guys?